Guys, it's Lisa back with another video for you for Lisa Wise Designs, and we're going to continue in our series on the recipe mini album. Yesterday we got through making our covers and putting on some of our stickers, and we've got done with a lot of our major matting, so we're going to continue on today. If you're just joining us, you can go back a few videos and see the beginning of this process. There'll be also a playlist for you for all the videos for this, and also in the description down below information where you can pick up a full kit to make this album with everything that you see here except for your tools that you need to do. Or if you want to use up your stash, you can just pick up the PDF version that you can download. So here we go. Let's get started back again. So we'll just start back here in the beginning. So let's work on this element here and this. So let me kind of clean up my mess here a little bit. So what I decided to do is I made this tag, but then I wanted a tuck point for him. He could swing out, but I really like him kind of sitting still, but you can pull him out. So let's get some of our black cardstock we had left over. We're going to cut a square that's 1.5 inch by 1.5 inch. So 1.5 by 1.5. So a pretty small square here. And then I'm going to put it back in my trimmer and go corner to corner and trim that. So when you're doing something like this, you want to start with your blade right in the center. So we'll let go and kind of hold it down, and I'm going to sink my blade and go up and down. That way it won't move on you. Okay, so now you've got this little rectangle. Did I say rectangle? It's a triangle. Oh my gosh, my geometry teacher would have a fit. But that's been a long time ago. So I'm going to take this triangle, and it's going to go right here in the corner of the cow paper, and I just want to put glue on these two sides here, and just the tiniest bit because I wanted to use as a tuck point, so I need a lot of that real estate. So I'm just going to try to be careful and just go right on along the edge, just like that, and then glue this right here. So that's an easy way to make a little tuck point or pocket. And I'm not going to stick my tag in there until it has a little bit of chance to dry. So I'm going to let it dry, and then we'll work on the little milk that goes there. So I thought that would be cute since the cows are on that paper to use this little milk. I'm going to go back and see what kind of I got left on my black here. And I'm going to hit it with some ink. That'll make it look worn a little bit. And I'm going to put it down right in the corner of this black paper and cut most of the excess away, and then fussy cut. So I am going to be brave today. I'm not going to draw around it. I'm just going to use my new scissors and fussy cut. So this one is pretty easy. There's not a whole lot of ins and outs and intricateness, so I think I'm good. I think I'll be good. Maybe I won't be crying. I do have a scan and cut, but I do find it to be temperamental and a little bit of a pain sometimes, especially to get it out for one thing just like this. But even if I do have a lot to do, now see, I shouldn't keep trimming. I'm gonna trim off too much. Even if I have a lot to do, sometimes I just can't get it to do what I want to. So I'm going to bring this back over, and I'm going to glue this right here on the top of this triangle. Now see, this is my problem. I keep taking too much off. I could never be a hairstylist because I just keep wanting to trim. So we're only going to have the bottom part of this on the black mat underneath it. So you don't want to put glue along the whole thing. You just want glue on this little bottom portion here, and you can add more, but you just want glue right there, and stick it down and give it a second to dry. Go. So now we've got a nice little tuck point here. So now that I know exactly where it is, I'm going to put a little bit of glue on the other side of the rectangle where the bottom of the milk bottle is to get a good stick all the way at the bottom. Okay. All right, so let's work on this little tag. Gonna need some green. What is wrong with me this morning? Pink ribbon. Let me see if we use it more than once. I think this is the only place we use the pink, so you won't have to cut it down. So you can use all of it if you want. And we're going to use a medium size tag and a small tag. So I'm going to go ahead and hit this with my ink. So this is really, really white, and make sure I hit it pretty heavily, because I do want to age it a little bit, even through the center there. Now, this one's pretty simple. We need to find the dog sticker, and then we need to find some of that plaid paper. So back through my scraps. There we go. This is going to be 1 3/8 by 2. Starting to lose some of my work area here. Does that happen to you where you use some more of your tools and your work area gets shorter and smaller and smaller? I'm going to have to clean up in just a second. And I have a nice thing to keep my tools in beside me, but you know how it goes. You just kind of lay them down. There we go. Now, a little more room here. So, yeah, that's pretty good. So this one I've decided not to have any white showing. So it basically goes from the whole reinforcement down to the bottom. But I'm going to start at the bottom, so where it ends up stopping is fine. Anywhere close to that whole reinforcement looks good. A little more ink there. Now, I really liked the puppy dog. Number one, just because I like dogs, and number two, it's kind of, to me, looks like, even though he's a little country dog, maybe he's herding the cows. That's herding, H-E-R-D, not hurting, H-U-R-T, because I know I have such a country accent. That might have been hard to decipher. So, I'm going to get him looking country here, and then I'm just going to place him down. He fits pretty well right here on this tag without having to trim him up. Then I'm simply going to do the same thing I did on this last one, as I tied them together like that, so they look like this. So you can do it however you would like to, but for now I'm going to start out just tying the large one, and this we're going to leave plain because this is a nice big beefy tag where you can put a picture. But I am going to go ahead and go to the back, since it's one that you pull out. We're not gluing down, so it's, go ahead and make it country looking or aged. And then you may want to see how long you want your string. So if this is sitting in the pocket and puppy is right here, like that, about how much string you need. That'll kind of help you get started. You don't want to have too terribly much slack in it, but you definitely want to have enough or it's going to ruin, you know, what you just spent time doing like this. So I want to have a little bit of slack here. So tie this. Okay, I think I'm good. I'm just going to finish my knot. So now this will kind of stick in like this, and I have lots left over, a little too much, so I'm going to trim this up. But I think that's cute, so when you take it out, or if he falls out, he kind of hangs on. See how white that is compared? So I'm going to do the same thing with this one. You could put another sticker on here, small picture, or some journaling. So cute. Love it, love it, love it. Okay, so that one's done. Also in this pocket, I put one of these off-white, I'm not sure what color this is, index card that you can write on or do some journaling. So that's going to go here. And then you will also put these oversized index cards. Let me see what size they are. They're 5 by 8, but they're a little too long, in my opinion, for this pocket. So I cut off, I believe, 1/2 inch is what I used. Yes, I used 7.5. So I'd recommend before you write anything on here that you cut off 1/2 inch before you get started, or it's going to be right at the top of your book, and you may like that. I thought that it needed a little bit of a haircut, so that's what I did. So you'll have a couple of these in there. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to go ahead and cut off 1/2 inch. And you'll put your recipes here, or your photos, and they would go in this front pocket. So far, so good. Isn't that cute? Now, for the front pocket here, let's grab, let's see. Ooh, I forgot I had this monster one. Look at this one. Where does he go? He goes in the back. So let's do on this white one. Okay, so now we're going to work on the front inside cover. So these are the 3 things I chose to put in mine. So I'm just going to take those out for now. We'll kind of recreate these. So what you've got is, well, if I can get this here where you can see, you've got a white or off-white tag. You've got one that's more manila, and then you got another white one. So you've got 2 medium ones and 1 smaller one. And let's see, this white one is 3 1/8 by 6 1/4. And so is this one. I just trimmed it down. Yeah, so this one goes with this one. This one goes with this one. So those are the same size, but we're just going to trim it down. And this one is going to wind up being 2 3/8 by 4 3/4. Yeah, I don't trim that one down at all. So I wanted these to be a little bit different size when I was done. So this white one, I kept the same. The manila one, I'm going to take off 1/2 inch off the bottom. I wanted some size variance here. Yep, so that's great. Then what we're going to do is I don't like the string that comes with it. I think it's just way too thin. You can use that if you want to, but I provided you with a little bit thicker string. So I'm going to use 8" of string. You could do a little longer if you'd like. I'm going to take off this little anemic string and put this little thicker one in here. So that's just personal preference too. So I'm just going to push through the loops, maybe, there we go. And pull back through just like you would on a ribbon. And then on this one, we're just going to do a little distressing. And then we're going to put, cute, we're going to put a library card on here. And this is where I'm going to do my journaling, or the opening to my book, kind of for the reader who comes behind me to look at this, where they can see, you know, why I made this book, or what this book is about. It's kind of an opening statement maybe here. Okay, here we go. And then here's the library card. I think these are fun to use, especially for mini albums. I've used these a couple of times. I think this is a really good way, like I say, to get some journaling in. And it makes sense why you'd be using it, right? It's got like author's name, title, that type thing. So this is kind of be the opening to my book. So there's that. So this one's going to be plain too. This is where you're going to put some journaling or a picture. I am going to try to go through my heritage photos that my mother has given me on a disk drive and see if I can find some photos of my ancestors back, you know, 2 and 3 generations, and hopefully find some that is cooking or in the kitchen. Wouldn't that be neat? So I'm going to cut this black ribbon in half so I can get 2 tags out of it. So that probably will give me 8 inches, knowing me, if I cut them right. Yeah, it's right at 8. And pull this through here. So you've got lots of places to not only put your recipes, but some family photos. And if you're making this for your own recipes, this will be really cool when you make that recipe next time to take a photo of you in the recipe, or if you don't like your photo to be taken, just of actually the finished product. Wouldn't that be neat? Or to take a picture. I know I've got some pictures of like our Thanksgiving table with everything on it. I think my brother-in-law Scott takes a picture every year, I do believe, of our table. And that would be kind of neat to have. So the third one, we're going to use some yellow ribbon. I know somebody out there is probably like me, singing tie yellow ribbon in your head as we're doing this. So I'm just going to cut it in half. Should be able to get 2 out of this, or another one out of this. We've already done one on the front. And poke it through. And on this one, we're going to leave room on the back for a photo, but we're going to decorate the front with some stickers. And then I decided that the sticker needed to be grounded. So we're just going to cut a little place that's going to kind of look like a table where it's sitting on, or maybe a tablecloth. You can kind of see that here. Oh, okay. So this is 2 3/8. Like I said again, this is some of my favorite paper, this green check, but there wasn't a whole lot of it. Just 1 sheet in this pack. So let's see if I can find it here. And this is a little larger than 1/2 inch, so about 5/8. Already forgotten. 2 3/8. And then I had some leftover red strips from where we were working on the front cover. And so I'm going to use that also. Okay, first of all, let's go ahead and glue this green chickadee down. Cute, cute, cute. And then I had a couple of these strips left over I was working with. This is where I was saying this is the other technique a lot of people like to do is glue and then just trim off the excess. Especially if you have little papers, this is easy to do like this and just turn it over and trim. Especially if you're trying to be really exact on that. So now I can just go around here and Distress City. So I always like to ask this question. Let me know if you enjoy that construction process more or this decorating process more. I find that this is a very polarizing question. Some people absolutely love one or the other. It's usually not both. So try to be a little careful. I did not want to hurt my daisies. So I hope I'm giving you some ideas too how to use your stickers, because just about every paper pack comes with some type of stickers, cut aparts, die cuts, but usually stickers. And sometimes it can be daunting and you don't want to have a whole lot left over. So you can do this two ways. The way I did it here is I had it at the where the red and green match, and then I went up here and I hole punch to get that hole back here, or you could just simply go more toward the bottom and have it where it doesn't, well, look at there, we'll have it where it doesn't need to be hole punched. So on this one, that's what I'm going to do. I just brought it down a little more. So here's the difference. One's a little bit higher, but then I had to hole punch it again. One's a little lower on there. So they both look good to me. I don't think there's anything amiss there. So these are the ones I chose then to put in this front clear pocket. Alright, and then I'm going to put this back in here for our example. Okay, and so now I think we're good on this one. We've got this and this, so this is kind of a complete look on that one. I'm so excited. So we're gonna kind of flip over and start this. So let's make another tag. We're gonna start with one of these white ones that, it's the 2 3/8 by 4 3/4. Gonna start with that. Then we're going to need some pattern paper. And let's see, what I chose on this one was the stripes and some red. And this. Okay, we're going to trim it down to 2 3/8 by 3. So we need, and I want my stripes to go up and down. So that will be the 2 3/8. 1, 2, 3. Let me double check myself. And then it needs to be 3 inches tall. Okay. Just like this. If I move this here, you can kind of see which one I'm working on. And then I decided to use a little bit thicker. So these are 1/2 inch strips of red. So I'm just going to use what I had left over on that red piece of paper and cut me a 1/2 inch strip here. And I swear I cannot remember, for some reason, that 2 3/8. I've done it like 3 times. 2 3/8. And 2 3/8. And I don't know what it is about tags. I just think they're so much fun to make. It takes up a lot of real estate too. If you've got an area, just need to do one side. A big area you need to add some oomph to like this. So we're gonna put a sticker here and then this here. And see, this says farm, and that is a farm. So cute. And once again, on this one, what I decided to do was to use some of this little string. It's a beefish string. And once again, I'm gonna take about 8 inches. And I didn't do this on the last one, but you absolutely can make this string where it's not so white. We can distress it a little bit. So I'm going to, oh, look at there. You can see where I've ordered stuff from Ellen Hudson. Out of my garbage here. So I like to kind of take that and run it through. And then it's not so stark white. And push that through. Gut one more time. This goes here. So on this one, what I'm going to do is I'm not going to show any white at the bottom, so I'm going to make sure I start and go bottom up, because if I come over that hole reinforcement a little bit, it's not going to matter, but it is going to be very apparent if I leave some area here at the bottom. So start from the bottom, and I'll put this strip. Just gonna put that right up and make sure it is straight. Okay. And then we'll see where this red falls here. So making these tags and these embellishments is definitely not difficult. Might be a little time consuming, but I think it is so worth it and fun, especially to put different patterns together, not just do this from top to bottom, to piece it together. It gives it a wow factor for sure. So I'm going to go way down here and get this barn off and this little windmill behind it. So unfortunately, not all of this is going to fit. We're going to trim it up. You can see on this one how much I trimmed or what I did. So what I decided to do is to get in the center of this pattern paper, just kind of lay the edge of this windmill, the edge right here, this long straight piece, down on the edge of my sticker. And that's how I laid it out. And then I'm going to just trim off how the rest of it falls. Just like that. So I just laid this part down together. All right. I'm going to turn it over with my longer scissors and just trim it up. And don't worry, it looks like it was meant to be that way. Once you add a little finishing touch right here, isn't that cute? That is so cute, if I do say so myself. All right, so we'll grab our book. This is going to go here, but before we do that, I'm going to grab this Farm Fresh sticker. And the reason I use that one, see, it kind of mimics what's behind it here. I like to kind of give you some design tips to kind of help as we go along. I think that helps some people. So now we kind of know what we're laying out here. So now we know how far over to put the sticker. So this is a nice big area. If you decide that you don't want to use this, you want to put a big picture, this is a perfect place for that. If you're lucky enough to have a gorgeous picture to put here of a family member or just a nice picture of a recipe. And so once again, you've got lots of room here to put one of your index cards. I should just trim them all down at once, shouldn't I? Which will be the smart move. Okay. Taking off ½ inch. And if they don't look like they fit in because the color is too white. Yeah, I tried to got too optimistic, did too many at one time. Then you can always hit the edges of these also with some ink. So I'm going to hold my place here with one of these. Okay, I'm going to put these up here. So let's get to work on our next tag, which these are called jewelry tags. They got these little fancy edges to them. So you have two of those, a larger one and smaller one there. So I gotta clean my scissors. I got those stickers on them still. So I took off the white that came with it. Of course, you can keep these for another project if you like, or you can keep them for this one. I just kind of have a place I put all of them, and then when I need some string, I just pull out of. I keep that little sticker that was on the scissors keeps sticking to me. So this little bitty white one is gonna kind of flop in the breeze. It's gonna be, so I'm gonna do both sides of that one. Well, this one's gonna be glued down. So I only need to ink one side of it. So better close up my glue. So now I need some of that little polka dot paper. If I can find something small. Here. One, 2, 3, 4, 5/8. A little larger than 5/8. Just a second. Oh, I guess I'm not looking at it right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5/8. Just a little bit bigger. Okay, so this is going to be 1 5/8. And then we want something that's about 1 inch tall. Just like that. And then I am going to even put some down for this little cheeky chick. This will be 3/4 of an inch. Yeah. And I'm only going to do about 3/8 of an inch tall. So a teeny tiny sliver here. So now we ink. I thought these little bitty tags was a really cute way to showcase tiny stickers. Although it's kind of hard to hang on to. So we'll go ahead and glue these down. So I'm going to glue this down more toward the bottom than the top because I want a place for that sticker to land so it looks like it's kind of sitting on something grounded. And then on this small one, I'm going to do the same thing, more toward the bottoms. I need a little place for that chicken to land. Here, I cut it a little short, that's okay. So this is what they look like so far. Yes. Now, fun part, stickers. So I want this one here. like this pitcher. Looks like it goes into with a water basin, right? This little old pitcher. And I'm going to put it here on the big sticker toward the bottom of where that little pattern paper was. And then I need a baby chick, which I got this little bitty one right here. And then I need the rose. Where did it come from? It's this one right here. So this rose that's over here, and this baby chick. I'm gonna layer those. And once again, you would think, why is there a chick on the rose? But it kind of helps pull from this right here, right? It kind of pulls that thing together. So you might have to trim a little bit off this, the teeniest bit on the back, if you didn't get it on exactly straight. I think mine looks pretty good though. And then this little chick right there. Isn't that cute? Cute, cute, cute. Let's get the right color here. So now I'm going to take some of my red. I had already cut this one down. Let's see. This is a little over 8 inches, for 8 to 10 inch. So this time I think I'm going to kind of make a loop, push through, but I'm going to have a lot of left on the bottom. Pull through here, so it looks like this, but then I've got a long tail, so I didn't exactly, you know, fold it in half. So with this long tail, I'm going to pull it. I don't know if I can do that again, how that's going to look, or if I should just tie it. So I'm just going to try the loop method again. If not, I'll come back and tie it. Does it want to go through that little hole? Not one thing, another. Come on, stylus. There we go. No, I don't think that one's going to work that way. I think I'm just going to tie it. So I just going to push it through the front and just simply tie it. So once again, you can kind of see how much slack we need. And then kind of tie. And then I'll kind of tell you, if you want a measurement, kind of where I landed. There we go. So if it's stretched out from one to another, it's about 3 1/4 inches there. So this one's a little bit longer than the original one, but it is cute as a button. You don't want it to come out of the bottom of the book, so we're going to make sure of that. But other than that, I think it should be good. So I'm going to glue this toward the top here, and then the little chick can hang down. And if you think it's too long because it's coming out of the book, so my other one wasn't quite that long, then we'll shorten it up, which I think I should do. I don't want it to get damaged by coming out the bottom of the book. So let me shorten it up just a little bit. This is crafting, folks, right? It's a little bit of trial and error. So let's see. This is here. If we wanted to hang about right there. And then I'll give you another measurement, sorry. I really didn't want you to come out of the book and get damaged, yeah. So now from one tag to the other, it's 2 3/4. I started to say no harm, no foul, but since there's a chicken on here, I thought that would be a really bad pun. So I'm just gonna glue down this big sticker. I mean this big this big tag with the sticker on it. Right almost to the opening of the glassine bag, and kind of at an angle. And then this kind of hangs down. Isn't that cute? I like him, loving it. Okay, so now let's see what we've got for the inside. We definitely want to put one of our recipe cards in here. And then we're going to use one of these medium-sized white tags. And then we're going to use this bad boy here, this little tabbed folder. So I'm going to pull these out and we'll look at them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to trim this down to 5.5. So starting with your tab on the left, put it in your trimmer at 5.5 and just trim that off. Easy peasy. So that now will fit nicely in the pocket, just like that. So we're going to put some pattern papers on it, and we're also, if you'd like, we can round the corners. So let's get our corner rounder. I'm going to go on, this is a Memory Keepers corner punch, and I'm going to go on the 1/4 inch side and round at least the top corners. If you want to round all of them, you can, but at least think that that looks much better rounded off. And then let's get a 4.5 by 4 3/4 sheet of paper. Let's see, 4.5, 4 3/4, and I want to do it to like those bottle caps. So 4.5 wides, yeah, so I'm really good. 4 3/4 tall. Do that one first. And 4.5 wide. Okay. So that's going to kind of go here in the center. And then I'm going to turn this paper over and use the other side for these little strips here at 1/4 inch. So I really like to frame things in, you can tell, like this, but I think it adds a lot to it. I think it's going to have to be a little bigger than that, though. Let's see, just like this. So cute. So how big was this one? Don't think I got that one quite big enough. Okay, 1 second, please. And I will tell you what I cut. So these are also 4 3/4, and I cut them at 1 2 3/8. I cut them at 3/8. So this gives you a nice bit of color and a mat to either leave as is or to put a photo on. And then we're going to leave the back open to put a full photo on. So this album gives you lots of room to put photos and recipes. And I also think this will be fun. I might make another one of these for not just my heritage recipes in my family, which is what this one is for, but I think it will be fun to make one because I know in the years to come, my new grandbaby, which is 6 months old yesterday, I think, as we're in the kitchen through the years, how much fun that would be to take pictures of when we dye Easter eggs, when we make, you know, cakes and cookies, when it comes to Christmas. I just think that would be a lot of fun to make just an album about, you know, being in the kitchen. So here we go. I'm just going to try to leave about 1/8 inch top to bottom. I'm going to try to get it straight because I've had little issues with that here recently. I think I may have to trim mine down a little bit. I think I got my papers a little bit short, but that's okay. There's more than one way to fix that since I'm starting on the tabbed side. If my papers are a little short, then I can just, instead of trimming more paper, I can just kind of trim up this mat a little more, which I think I will. It's not too bad, but I do have a lot more room on this side. So I'm just going to trim off 1/8 of an inch. And to me, that looks much better. And some things I can live with, some things I can't. Some things drive me crazy, so that's one of them I did not want to live without if I didn't have to. And then that fits right in that pocket. Isn't that cute? And you can write on the tab. So the last thing that we'll do on this one is we're going to take this white medium size tag and we're going to put yellow ribbon on it. And we're going to leave this one room to put whatever you'd like on here. Then we'll kind of take a look at where we are and what we've got left to do. So you should have about 8 inches left of your yellow. Push that through. And trim it up. And then I need to close my art glitter glue. Uh-oh. It's wanting to stop up on me. I left it out too long. Trim this up, and trim this one up, and then rough it up, and it goes just like that. Isn't that cute? So now we've got this done all the way, and this one done all the way. So now we've got to do this one through this one. So we've got one more video to get through and we're gonna have it done. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. Sorry I didn't realize I wasn't all the way in frame. We've got this one done in the front and this. So all we've got left to do is the other half to make our tags on. So I will see you here same time, same place tomorrow. If you decide to make one of these, please go over to our Facebook group, Lisa Wise Designs, and let us see your work. Show us some pictures and let us encourage each other. And I'll see you tomorrow, same time, same place. Bye guys.